Hi, I'm Lisa. I'm 14 years old. I'm not that great at art, but I thought it would be a fun idea to take an art class for the next 3 years of high school. And today I'm going to be showing you an art practical that I did a while ago. But before we start, I'm going to give you some background information that you didn't ask for, but I'm still going to give it to you. The architectural style you're going to see in this video are the board cup or the Cape Malay houses. They're so beautiful and they're vibrant and boxy. I don't know, it kind of sounds like a real estate agent. Next we have the supplies. Wow. So let me tell you a little story about these brushes. So you see they have on the top of the boxy thingy, they have these little Mona Lisa thing. And that's the only reason I picked them, because I'm an amateur. And then you see these little baby acrylic paints, or the only paints. Like, me and my dad literally struggled. I did not like the way that sounded. Like, it sounds so bad. It kind of sounds like, oh my gosh, my life is so hard. Like, it was such a struggle to find paint for my school project. Oh, my life is so hard. That's not what I meant. I just mean it was quite a pain to find the paint that I wanted. Well, that we needed. So yeah, to find paint, because there aren't that many like paint stores where we were at the time. But in the end, everything was happy and dandy, and we got the paint. So now here's the sculpture, which Lisa, I made that sculpture. How I made it is I put little soup boxes together so it could be symmetrical, like the board cup house, and then I used little pieces of cardboard to make the stairs and the little parapet wall, and we used the beer box as the little base thingy, and we paper mache it so it'd be easy to paint on. So yeah, I didn't really plan out what I was going to talk about in this video because there's so many time lapses, but you can think of this like a little podcast, like a podcast with Lisa. And I know I say podcast because I'm South African, if you didn't know. That's a lie. I'm Zambian, but what I meant to say is I live in South Africa, so that's why I talk the way I talk. So if you're a viewer from not South Africa, maybe I could say like podcast. Ew, podcast. Ew. I'm gonna pause for a second, then I'm gonna tell you what I was doing. So I painted the base coat of the box, like the background, and then I'm gonna do the base coat of the house. So now we're gonna talk about me again, because that's the conceited YouTuber I am. I did not like that. But now that we're on the topic of podcasts, I'm going to be telling you a few of my favorite podcasts to listen to. So there's What We Said, Stupid Genius, Pretty Basic, Teenager Therapy, and those are all that I can think of right now, but there are probably a bit more. But yeah, those are my favorite podcasts, and I really like them, and they're enjoyable in their own special way, but they're also very different, because everyone is different, and no two people are the same, so no two podcasts are the same. Yeah. So that's all I did on day one, because I convinced myself that that's all I could do, because I need to wait for the paint to dry. Anyway, moving on to the next day. So that's the base coat. So what you can see there is I was measuring the houses on the box that would be equal on each side, because they're supposed to be symmetrical. Painting is a dangerous game, especially painting with acrylic paint. Like, if you do not pay attention, it is gonna dry up, and then what you're gonna do? You're gonna have to put more paint on. Like, it is so scary, and you know, painting is so relaxing yet so stressful at the same time. I'm talking about acrylic paint because I have not really used any other paint. But anyway, with this knife, my mom doesn't know this, but I used a knife to cut the little opening on the thingy, like the paint opening thing, the paint. And she doesn't know that, and I literally trashed one whole knife and I threw it away because I did not tell her, because I was scared. So mommy, if you're listening to this, which I know you are, I'm sorry I had to throw away a knife because it was covered in paint and you could not use it. I didn't think about that, but I did. Yikes. So I think that's what I'm gonna do today, and then yeah, that's what I'm gonna do today. I will see you all tomorrow. Psych. So I'm really like, oh my gosh, it is 2 weeks later since the last time I saw you, because I've been procrastinating, and school's starting in a few days, and I haven't finished my project, and I can't put it off because this is for marks. I'm actually getting marked on this. My desk is a mess, and I need to clean that up now, and I'm wasting even more time because I was procrastinating in bed and I was on my phone. Oh my god. So this is the mess I have to deal with. That's good enough for now. So I have an issue now. So you see, me and my mom bought a whole new set, but they gave us 2 greens and I need another purple to make my house. So now that means I need to change the whole shade of my house. Or I could have just asked my mom to take me to the store to get more paint, because then I'll have to mix red and blue and I won't be able to get this dark purple. Spoiler alert, in the future, even though I do it now, it just did not work. I ended up painting over, so this is really pointless. Okay, so let me rant a little bit. Those damn accent thingies, you know, those little railing things on my house, those are the hardest things to do. Literally, I spent like 3 hours just trying to do the little accent things, and I kept on messing up. Like, if you zoom in and look at those little thingies on the purple house, it looks so bad. So I ended up painting over it. I know I'm really spoiling this whole video, but it did not work. So earlier in the video, I know I mentioned like me taking art even though I'm not good at it, and I don't know, I think it's really fun to do something even though you're not the greatest at doing it, and just putting yourself out of your comfort zone. I think it's really fun to do. You can't always, you can never improve when you're in your comfort zone. So I colored in those little blocky thingies because I gave up, and I'm just gonna like paint them white or like add a white piece of paper because I give up. But here is what it looks like. Woohoo! Woohoo! Those are some errors, but I don't really care right now. So for my plan, I use really light colors, so I'm just gonna keep it like really minimal, and then I added these cute little cheesy clouds. I don't know if I'm gonna add them in, but okay. So that's the blue that I used. I actually mixed it with white, and looking back, it did look much darker than it did in the plan, but I really like it because it adds a little bit more of a contrast, because I'm gonna use some fancy art terms. Well, they're not that fancy, but anyway. I used I made the yellow house yellow. I put the yellow and the purple houses next to each other because they are complementary colors and they're opposite each other on the color wheel, and adding the darker blue kind of adds a contrast and kind of adds a little bit of interest in, I don't know. So yeah, that's what I did, and yeah, that's my reasoning. You know, I just realized I probably should have put masking tape on the edges, because now it looks like this. Except for the fact that like this purple is different from the rest of the house, but that was just because the purple paint finished. Now we just have this wonky strip. Okay, so this lighting is not it. So basically, I put the masking tape all around the house. Now I'm gonna do it on the purple house, but I'm really nervous about it because everything wrong happens on the purple house. So I'm just gonna hope and pray that it ends up looking like this. So I will see it when that happens. So on the purple part, we're successful. I'm really excited. I think it looks decent. I think it looks good. I'm not gonna be self-deprecating. I think it looks pretty good, and I hope that when I paint it, it looks okay. Okay. We're getting somewhere. I feel like I'm adding the little flower details, which kind of look really wonky, but at this point, I'm just gonna roll with it. So now I'm gonna paint the box black, and then I'll get back to the details on the door and then add some finishing touches. So we're gonna cue the time lapse. So remember earlier in the video when I was talking about me procrastinating? Well, from the last clip that you saw, I waited another whole week to finish this, and this was the day before my flight back to South Africa to go back to school, and I was so stressed. Like, I started working on this in the morning, and then I waited until the next morning, the day of my travel, when I was leaving, until like 2 in the morning just painting. And I do think I do work well under pressure, but it's not worth it was just not fun. And I also couldn't film something because I just felt really anxious. I was not in the mood to be filming, and I'm really sorry that I missed out on some clips, but you know what, you can still see I painted the windows and I added the details, so you know what, you didn't miss that much, my friends. So this was literally me the same day, like in the night before school, because I needed to hand it in, and I thought it would be a great idea to put glue on the edges of the house because it's a bit untidy. And in the long run, it was actually good in some places. In other places, it looked so bad. But the glue drying and made it actually really smooth. So I used wood glue, by the way, and I don't know. I also added paint, and I messed up literally in the morning when I was supposed to hand it in. I messed up on one of the windows, and I was stressing, and I was like, no, 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 I messed it up, messed it up, messed it up, and long story short, I fixed it, and yeah, here is the final reveal. Bum, ba-da-ba-ba-bum, bum. Ooh, just ignore the glue. You know what? It dried later on, but you know, that's the final thing. Woohoo! So when I was painting, oh my gosh, I don't know what's happening with my voice. When I was painting it, and I video called my brother, and I asked him to like rate it because he does graphic design and design all those things, and he was like, he said it was okay, and I was like, okay, why did you say it's okay? Because I have an ego, and it was like the doors were uneven, the windows were uneven, and the line wasn't as definite. So I do agree with him on most points. To rate my sculpture out of 10, I guess I would give it a 5.5, so 55%. I think it was really good for my painting that I put a lot of effort in, because last term's practical I did not, and there were a lot of errors with it, and I could do much better. And also there was a mountain in the plan. I did show a mountain. I couldn't do it. Like when I was painting, it looked so bad, and it was the night before, and I was just too stressed to do it. And yeah, that's the whole final consensus. But thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Also, thank you so much for 50. Oh my gosh, not 50. Thank you so much for 60 subscribers. Love you all so very much, and maybe I will see you all in my next video. Bye.